Hey, yeah, I was in the garden and I put a seed into the soil and waited a few months and something started to grow. It's amazing. You can find me in the garden, time taking, speak with God, plant a seed into the soil, go better days. And if you living in the moment, God willing moments own it, we can elevate our heart in better ways. Well, now I see the light, vision shines so bright, God just give us sight, shine bright soul. Now I see the light, vision shines so bright, God just give us sight, shine bright soul. Had a moment, had to hold it, maybe scope and make it right. Isolated, home alone, while in the darkness gaining sight. My inner fight, locked down a bite. I crept the night and found my soul. Wrote the scroll, paid the toll, talked to Jesus on the go. Now I know, now I grow, now I'm elevating visions. Now I'm walking in the moment while they scared to make decisions. Not to mention found possessing, some possessing me. Within the question, learn some lessons. Now I'm walking in the know. Here we go again. The dopest Ethiopian, curly hair and broad skin. Spirit never was a trend, we go within and make amends. It's crazy how the spirit bends. It's crazy. You can find me in the garden, time taking, speak with God, hands in the soil, grow better days. And if we living in the moment, God willing moments own it, we can elevate our hearts in better ways. Well, now I see the light, vision shines so bright, God just give us sight, shine bright soul. Now I see the light, vision shines so bright, God just give us sight, shine bright soul.
I'm just posted on the pasture, tending tendencies we planted. Pray to God we cultivate them better days. And flowers bloom within the darkest hearts while shaded by the darkest parts. That's why the cage birds sing like every day. Living more than for the moment, laying bricks, but I ain't throwing stones. Spitting words just for the hurt, so I'm a shepherd with my time. I ain't worried about it down to money, care whether we live or die. To reap eternal life, just sow the word into the world. Using my back to give it back, a heart intact, don't need no praise for that. Garden from which we eat and producing them better days. Disregarding the circumstance, and man, no chain can hold me down. Take a look outside of your life, look inside of your ways, look outside of your time, look inside of your days, look outside of the shine to look inside of the rays, look outside of your steps to look inside of your stays, look inside of your heart to look outside of the maze. Life's great.
All praises to the Most High, bless up to the chosen one. Shalom, Yasharala. Shalom, shalom. I pray all is well with y'all. I pray everything is going well in your world. I'm glad that those of you who could catch this and those who you are chiming in can chime into this. The reason that I'm actually doing this live is because I've been going on my own journey as of recent, and I feel that the times that we're in, it's an important conversation to really talk about like what a spiritual cleansing is, what a spiritual awakening is, and why it's important for us to really be chimed into transitioning in the times. So, the video that I just showed is Better Days, Find Me Better Days. And the significance of that track when I actually did it, it had so much to do with me being at the crossroads of a transition, right? A transition within career, music, everything that I was doing and everything that I was moving forward in really changed around the time that this song was actually made. And one of the things that I find that is really eye-opening is what we consider what a spiritual awakening is. And I had always considered myself spiritual. Like I had been practicing right around that time, right before that actual introduction into that song and everything that I was doing around that album. Sorry, yeah, my lips are chapped. Here we go. Right before that, I was very confident in what I was believing in. I was practicing a variety of different things when it comes into like meditation, journaling, mindset. All of those things were something that were implemented into my life. And I still believe that those things to be true. It's just I have a better understanding of where you source that power, or where I source that power. Everybody's sourcing that power from different aspects, right? And there's certain things that actually fall through as a true thread of truth, right? When we're talking about actually living at your best self, living at your highest self, living at your truest self, right? There's certain things that reign true. Mental health, right? Mental and spiritual health are things that, whether we're talking about Torah in the Bible, or whether we're talking about the world of metaphysics, there are certain truths that are just universal. So when I say that, I'm really saying like the mindset, whatever you put out, you get back, right? Whatever you put out, you get back. Um, the mindset in that, blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the seat of the scoffer, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. The law, and what the law represents when really breaking down this spiritual walk and this spiritual awakening, is such an essential thing when we're trying to get to our best self, right? You have to have a map and a scope of conduct in order to continually push forward in the most efficient ways. So when I was first spiritually awakening, or what I considered spiritually awakening during that time, and I say that around 2018, 2017, 2016, 2016 to 2018 into 2019, I thought I had it all figured out. I really did. I thought I knew what was best for me. I was doing self-mastery. I was honoring the God that lived inside me, or honoring myself as God, not knowing or not realizing that it's idol worship. And I had a few epiphanies that actually got me to where I'm currently at within that idol worship. And some of those things had to do, and I've talked about this before, a lot of those things had to do with the world and the way it was going towards where we're currently at right now. But I couldn't see it because I was so focused on what I believed to be the truth during that time. I was very much advocating and pushing within, policy and activism. A lot of the work that I was doing had to do with mindset and social construct. I was doing, and I still do, implicit bias workshops, and really talking about cultural competency and the ways that we relate as individuals, but as we relate as generalizations as well. All those things were playing key within the ways that I was moving and the ways that I was thinking. And at that point, if you were to ask me about God and Jesus, I'm pretty confident that I would told you that, yeah, I believed in God. And yes, I believed in Jesus, but I believe them to be in the same, I believe that to be in the same realms. And when I'm talking about Yah and Yahuwah, Yahushua, I believe that to be at that time in the same realms as Buddha, or as Shiva, or any of these other gods, even the Rishas we can throw in there, because I was all over with the gods that I was worshiping. So in my mind, I was spiritually awoken, right? And understood positivity and the laws of attraction very well. I attracted a lot of things in my life, good and negatively, but I understood that. And I think right around 2020, when everything shut down, as I was waking up to really what was happening in my life, and really what we were battling, because the battle was a cycle at that point. Like, I've been alive long enough to see numerous cycles. I remember being as young as 7 or 8 um, when Rodney King happened. So I've seen transitions of us as a people, so-called Black folks, being beaten down over decades at this point. So at this point, I'm thinking, if this is a continuous cycle, and this is as George Floyd is happening, if this is a continuous cycle that's going to continually happen, this has to be deeper than just policy, politics. It has to be. And what it made me realize is that this is a spiritual battle. So within it being a spiritual battle, what did I go to? I went to altar worshiping. I went to fasting. I was actually fasting during that time. Went to meditation, um, astral projection. All those things were a part of my so-called spiritual awakening. And for those of you who've never practiced any of those things, crystals, that was another thing. For those of you who have never practiced any of those things, it's real. It's not fake. We have to understand that we are in a spiritual world, and this is a spiritual battle, and there's a variety of different avenues you can take within that awakening. And the more you understand it, the less you fight against what's true and what's not. There's certain universal truths that we can all agree on. We can all agree on that. A lot of us, I can't say all of us, because some of us are of the 85%, right? We got the 85, the 5, and the 10. Those are the people, right? We got 85% of people who just go along and they don't question and they believe everything to be exactly what it is, right? We've got the 10% who know what it is, but they choose to operate and navigate for the benefit of their pockets, right? For the benefits of money. And then we got the 5%, which I call the remnant, the chosen. And the 5% are those who see it, they understand it, and they choose to take the righteous path in the ways they navigate it. And at one point in this walk, I was very much the 10%. I had seen it, I had understood it, and I was choosing to navigate it for my benefit, right? But the more that I went in that direction, and the more that I understood that direction, the more empty I felt inside of myself. And the more that I understood that emptiness couldn't be cured through anything that I was doing, through exercise, through meditation, through astral projection, through worshiping altars and all those things, the more that I realized that those things weren't fulfilling me, the more that I needed some kind of answer. And one of the things that most don't understand is that a lot of these people who are in these spiritual practices, they understand who Yahshua is. They understand who Yah is. A lot of them fell away from that because of the church and something happening significant within that. Whether it was a moment of hypocrisy, whether it was through the congregation, whether it was judgment that was coming from the people, whether it was just them like not believing in church anymore because it only gives you an aspect of truth and you know that there's more to it. Whatever that is, a lot of people who you see that are currently within mysticism and that are in the occult arts, they know Christianity because they came through that. That was one of the first chambers that they came through. And the more that I got open and awakened to the reality of what we're operating in, the more that I realized that Christianity in itself is an occult practice. In itself, when you understand what it is and how it is a spell onto itself, when you go into the history and you start breaking that down, you start understanding that it's all the matrix. It's all the illusion. So it took time for me to get to this place where I'm currently at right now, where I'm hungry for the Most High. I'm hungry for this growth in spiritualism, true spiritualism, not religion, not construct, but actually understanding who the Most High is within me and being the reflection of what He's called me to be. I'm going to go ahead and transition that into some scriptures before I get any more into what I'm talking about. And I think this is an important scripture for all of us to kind of think about when we're talking about that hunger. And like, even as Hebrews, even as Hebrew Israelites, even as those who have been called out of the church, or even those who are still in the church, but are walking a spiritual, faithful path, this is a key scripture that I feel that really connects to me and where I'm currently at right now. In Matthew 5:6, it says, "Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. When you're thirsting and hunger for righteousness, and what is righteousness, right? So living a righteous life is usually taking the road less traveled. It's doing the peculiar thing that not everybody else is doing. It's questioning the constructs and the things that are out there in the world and choosing to live in accordance to that narrow path and that narrow road. It's essential in order for you to be in alignment with the Creator and to really understand what the Creator has planned for you, right? None of us understand the mind of the Most High. There's a variety of different examples of that. He has a plan, and he requires you to go through different trials in order for you to realize who you are, and the things that you need to go through are equipping you for the battle that you'll fight later. Think about that with Joseph when he was thrown into slavery after he had a very significant vision, right? He had a vision that he was going to save his brothers, Israel, and they were going to bow to him, right? Not in worship, but in honor of them being saved by him. And because of jealousy, they weren't able to see that. Think about David, David, when he had been called to be king, but before that, he had to go through the trial of conquering Goliath. There's things that we have to go through in order for us to be the best selves, in order for us to actually ascend to the calling that the Most High has put onto us. And the only way that we're able to actually get to that level is to look at ourselves, to evaluate our hearts, and to be honest about where we're at. And I'm still doing that. I got so many things that I'm still working on within myself. So many things. And I know exactly what my battles are at. A lot of my battles have to do with ego. A lot of my battles have to do with vanity. A lot of my battles have to do with letting go of my past in order for me to be freely evolving into where the Most High wants to take me. And I had accomplished a lot within the past life that I had lived before I was renewed in mind and transformed into a new spirit. So a lot of the times when we're talking about that spiritual awakening, that's one of the first things that we have to think about. You got a pen, write that down. Let go of your past. You can't get to where the Most High is trying to take you if you're still holding on to the things that made you who you were. See, the thing about being who you were is that that's where you're celebrated. That's where people recognize you. That's where people want you to stay. They want you to stay there because they've seen you grow, they've seen you transition, and they can relate to you in that person that you used to be, and they don't understand where you're going. So they're always going to remind you of who you used to be in order to keep you complacent from your evolution and your growth. So in order for us to truly get to where we're going, in order for us to truly be who we're supposed to be, we have to let go of that past. We have to let go of that dead weight, that familiarity. It's time for something new. And the only way that the Most High can get you into something new is for you to let the past go. Think about it with Lot and his family when they were exiled in Sodom and Gomorrah. When his wife looked back, which the Most High told her not to, she turned into a pillar of salt. That's an important lesson, because so much of us becoming free, so much of us coming into the promise is us letting go of the things that we're so familiar with, the things that still have a strong hold on us, right? We have to let go of that path. So that was the first part of my journey, and still something that I'm shedding even today. Letting go of the past, getting out of that mindset. Another thing that I had discovered in this journey is that I was strongly indoctrinated in what I believe to be true. Whether it be from a political side or even a religious side. And that's even my biases that I had towards church, or my biases that I had towards what Christianity was. I was indoctrinated within a new age, or a new age in a new way, and I was angry. So that anger affirmed that indoctrination, and because of that anger that I had for whatever pain that I had went through when I was in church, I allowed that to be justifiably the reason that I didn't turn to the Most High when I was going through the struggle. See, the thing that we don't understand about the law of attraction and affirmation is because you're not actually praying to the Most High and you're not asking for guidance, you become your own God. And the dangerous things about becoming your own God is that you don't have enough information, right? You don't have enough perspective outside of yourself to know where you're going to be guided to. So because you think of yourself as, oh God, and the thing about it is, it's so arrogant and there's so much vanity that's connected to it that you're not able to actually evolve to your greatest self. And the reason why is because of your ego. The ego is a dangerous thing because it allows you not to be guided. It allows you not, you, instead of like having a conversation to build and edify yourself, you end up debating somebody because of your arrogance and your need to prove yourself to be smarter than them, right? A lot of the time, the Most High gives us messages through people. And if you're humble enough to receive those messages, you can be edified and to learn something and to know what direction it is. But it also says in Psalms 1:1, right? Blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. So the thing is, you have to make sure that the counsel that you're getting is from somebody who understands righteousness and who's walking according to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, right? That's an important thing when we're talking about the transition and the evolution of who we are, right? You have to let go of the past, right? And you have to let go of indoctrination. And you have to be open and willing to learn, right? The third thing I would say is humility. Humility, being humble. This walk is on and going, and it never ends. It never ends because you're constantly going to be shown new things through the Most High. And if you're willing and open to learn these new things, He could take you to your highest possible greatness. But the thing about it is, so much of the time when we're talking about arrogance and ego, it stunts your growth. And the reason why it stunts your growth is because you have to always prove what and who you are. In fact, a lot of the time you're fighting against other people. You're fighting against other ideologies. So when you humble yourself, it allows you to be open to receive a message that would not necessarily come through in the same ways unless you were humble. Humility is an important thing in order for us to be able to get to that spiritual awakening and an ascension. Another thing, I'm going to say number four. Number four within that lesson, I would say, is isolation. Isolation. Isolation is necessary for spiritual growth. And the reason why isolation is necessary for spiritual growth is because the Most High has to get you alone so you can see yourself. So when you're alone by yourself and you have to look at all the ugly parts of who you are within inside yourself, it allows that purging to start. It allows that the cleaning of the house to start. But you have to be alone and isolated to be able to get to that point. And that allows you to study, that allows you to have conversation and communication and a prayer life within the Most High. And if you get that isolation, that's going to be the thing that allows you to understand who is for you and who's against you, who loves you, who cares for you, who supports you, and who is just there for you in a moment of their needs, right? That isolation is essential for you to grow into where the Most High is taking you, right? And the fifth thing that I will say is ultimately where I'm at is study. Study. Study to show thyself approved. I feel like the study is where you start to learn the mind of the Most High. When you start to study and you start to understand these different stories and journeys of those who lived within Torah in the Bible, you start to realize that you're more like them than not. And the victories and the failures that they had also is a reflection of who you are within yourself. So when you see somebody like David, who was a great mind and a brave, so a man after Yah's own heart, still failed. And within that, he didn't let the failure define him. Same with Peter, right? He was one of Yahshua's greatest advocates and would fight for him and do anything for him. But in his failure, he saw who he was. And then within that, he had to take accountability, and he had to study himself and study what he did and why he did it when he denied the Most High. But like within studying, you see these examples of these patriarchs, these people who were in the Torah, and how human they were. And the more that you understand that, and you understand the word and Yahshua and the ways that he walked, the more that we can be like him, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to John 14, verse 12. And this is a important one for all of us. I'm going to go ahead and kind of close us out within this one. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go on to my Father. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. And if ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments. See, that's an argument that many of us have. Does Yahshua want us to walk according to statutes and commandments? Yes, because that's the best for your life, right? When you're talking about a code of conduct and a way to live your life, Yah gave us that through the commandments in order for his people to be the Kodashim, set apart. And not just that, it's the best for who you are as an individual. You have laws, statutes, and commandments in order to keep you in line, in order for you to be your greatest self, right? If you love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, and that he may abide with you forever. And that comforter is the Ruach HaKodesh, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. The Ruach HaKodesh is one of the most important things when we're talking about coming out of sin, coming out of our strongholds. And the only ways that we can go ahead and get to the Ruach HaKodesh really being edified in ourselves is we have to go through those steps, right? We have to go through those steps. We have to let go of our past. We have to be humble. We have to be open. We have to be ready. We have to be studied. When we go through those transitions, that allows the Ruach HaKodesh to activate. And when it activates inside of you, you're no longer working to walk in statutes and commandments. And the reason why you're not working to walk in the statutes and commandments is because now that you have let go and you've let Yah, he's operating within inside you. And the more that he operates with inside you, those things that had strongholds on you, they're now being expelled from you. Those spirits, those demons that you've been battling can only be defeated through the Ruach HaKodesh, but you have to let go. You have to be humble. You have to be studied. And the more that you're studied, humble, and ready, the more that the Most High can work inside of you. And that work that he does inside of you is ministering to others, because it allows them, in the same ways that we look at Hamashiach, is the same ways that people will look at you in your walk. The worst thing for a believer is a hypocrite, somebody who says one thing and does another. When somebody is walking in truth and integrity, that reflection reverberates to others because they see the light in you and they want to be like you. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one short just because the Most High really put this on my heart to get this message out. I did a live. I'm going to do more videos. I'm not going to do as many lives because not that many people are joining me within the lives. But I feel like the message is still relevant and people do get the word out afterwards. I didn't advertise this one either. This wasn't something that I really pushed. And I'm still learning how to work that algorithm, how to work within that. The Most High will guide me in that, so I'm not worried about it either. With that being said, like and subscribe and pass on the message if you find this of any worth. And with the Full Armor page, I'm going to be doing more workshops. I'm going to be doing more music videos and interviews as we go into this podcast part. So I'm going to be collaborating with a variety of you who chime in. And I encourage you to like drop a message if you want something to talk about, if you want to build, if you want me to join you for one of your lives. Let's build, y'all, because that's really what this is all about. All praises to the Most High. Bless up to the chosen one. Shalom for all the believers. Stay strong, y'all. Get in the Ruach HaKodesh. It's been a blessing. Shalom.